Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We are going to be reading out of my Touching Heaven, a cardiologist's encounter with death and living proof of the afterlife. And we currently are reading on part 1, Proof of Life. And I'm going to bypass some of this. This is chapter 1, More Than Meets the Eye. More on science or faith. So I'm going to give you a gist of the author's career. He's a cardiologist, so you can probably make an assumption about his career, but it says that his career journey included 3 years of research at cardiovascular surgery at the Yale School of Medicine. He is now on staff at 3 different hospitals in West Palm Beach, Florida. It took a while for him to get serious about his education, and he was on other pursuits. And then we're going to bypass quite a bit. It says, back then, I used to believe I had to choose one path or the other, either science or faith. The two couldn't possibly coexist. Since my training was in medicine, the choice seemed straightforward, which is, I'm assuming, a lot of people's to start. Whenever I ventured exclusively down the path of science to supply my conclusion for all of life's questions, I would run into another roadblock. Roadblocks that couldn't destruct or detour around or just my intellect. The more I practiced medicine, the more I witnessed our outcomes that had no clinical explanation. Like medically possible healing, the corroborated details of patients like Gary described as an out-of-body experience. I learned since then that doctors often tucked away events in their mental physician's bag and see it as they never happen again. Kind of like when I used to child forensic interview. I was doing a case that was so difficult for me. I disassociated from my body. I continued to interview the child, but I disassociated from my body, and this is very clear to me. I rose to the very top of the ceiling. I could look down. I could actually see myself and the child sitting in chairs interviewing the child. And it was because my soul could not handle that, so it rose above to disassociate with what I was hearing and feeling at that moment. And I was able to get the job done, surprisingly. So nothing surprises me. I've also had really bad car accidents where I've had my grandma from the other side come and save me. I didn't even know who she was, but I knew she was my grandma, and I had never met her or heard about her, but I knew it was her. She went to the hospital with me. This is when I was 6 years old. So I'm sure most of you have had experiences like that, but you're not completely acknowledging it because it's almost so surreal. Did I make it up, right? The things that still haunt me through the starkness of death. How could there be a lifetime of order and then suddenly a fatal moment of disorder, with none of a person's physical functions working any longer? How could you be alive one minute and the next you're not? It seemed to me that there was order was the true nature of things, that there had to be a return to it somehow after we pass, or else the careful balance of the system within our physical world is pointless. If such meticulous underlies our days on this earth, then there has to be a purpose not only in our life, but after this life too. At least that's what I was concluding in my medical horizon broaden. What I truly believe is I believe that our soul spends about 60% of the time in heaven, and 40% of the time we are coming here on this planet to learn life lessons. Once we pass, our body stays here, but our soul, the 40% of it connects back with the 60% of it. And I believe that we have multiple lifetimes. I myself had multiple lifetimes. And I remember things from previous lifetimes. Like my Reiki gift. I never got certified for Reiki. I went and got Reiki done one time. All of a sudden, boom, I could do Reiki. And I knew it was a gift that I had in a previous life that I reactivated in this life. There was no reason I did not get certified. You have to get activated in order to get the Reiki. I had not gotten that. My Reiki was extremely powerful. I now since have been activated and got all that, but I did not need to do it. My Reiki is no more powerful now than it was before. You will see that in like children that are just geniuses at things. You don't know how they got good at it. It's because they specialized in a previous life. They were a math teacher in a previous life. They were an author. They were a doctor. So that's my belief. Everybody has different beliefs, and that's okay. But I love you. And if you have anything that you want to share, I'd love to hear. So namaste.